Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Red Raptor Writes, where we're playing Prehistoric Kingdom. We're still in alpha. I expected beta to come out at this point, but apparently not. So I decided instead of leaving everyone waiting for me to play when it's beta, I just wanted to come back into the game and play with a newly updated alpha. I didn't read the updates, but I'm sure like bug fixes and stuff like that. I noticed that they did actually respond to my video. They shared it on the Discord and said that they were allowing animals to be placed on modular buildings, so I contributed to something. You saw that I couldn't do that last time. But in this case, we're going to build Tyrant Temple. Okay, so I was kind of inspired by Crash Team Racing of all places. They have Tiger Temple in there, and I'm like, tigers are cool, but what if it was a Tyrannosaurus? So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Tyrant Temple. So it's gonna be kind of like a Central American temple, but with Tyrannosauruses who rule it. Okay, it's pretty cool. Now, I didn't base it off of any real temples in particular. I just took like a couple of pictures of different places and kind of mashed things together, parts that I found interesting. So it's not like the Chichen Itza, however the heck you pronounce that, or like Mayan pyramids. It's kind of just its own thing, because you know what, I don't want to make some a pyramid or whatever and then have like children SJWs in the comments being like, oh my gosh, you just appropriated my culture for a T-Rex exhibit. I don't want to deal with any of that crap, so we're just going kind of original but still kind of inspired. Alright. And right now we're just building the bridge. So this is like the viewing area for the exhibit, or that the exhibit's going to be on the other side of it. Yeah, you always need a cool viewing area as well as a cool exhibit. Because if you just have a cool exhibit, well, how are you going to see it? Being able to see it from a cool perspective certainly adds a lot to the experience and can sometimes make the whole experience. Yeah, so the bridge honestly takes me longer to do than the temple itself. It was kind of a pain, and I don't want to point out my own flaws here, because then, once I point it out, then everyone sees it. But, yeah, there are a lot of problems in it. But, I kind of accepted the problem, since this is supposed to be, ancient and run down and decrepit. So, it kind of adds to the theme. Yeah, let's go with that. This was all intentional, and it adds to the theme. Alright? Yeah. So I struggled a lot with this, needlessly struggled. I was just not as efficient as I should have been, and some random problems started to arise. Yeah, okay, but thankfully the focus is on the temple, and the temple comes out, well, okay, I have to stop complimenting myself. I'm just gonna say I like how the temple came out. Yeah, so now we're moving on from the bridge onto different pillars, and I did notice that there is a new problem that I don't think I've seen before, but definitely since the last patch has come, that I can't take a modular build in its entirety and then rotate it up and down on the Z axis, no, on the Y axis. I can't think. Okay, but I can't rotate it up and down. So I don't know if that was intentional, but it's kind of annoying. So I tried to do this. I cut out most of me trying to flail around with it, because it's just taking too much time. But I definitely don't remember that being a problem before. But yeah, just building the pillars, and I like it. It's simple, but it works with the theme. Yeah, I do wish that, this is still only alpha, but I would like more tools, and I know being able to color different objects is coming. It's definitely coming. It would have been it would have been very useful for this build, but unfortunately we don't have it yet. Okay, now I'm just, adding the water and actually working on the exhibit itself. It's gonna be surrounded by, well, this moat here and then a rock wall. So I'm just gonna take all the rocks and start rotating them around. It takes quite a while, so of course this is sped up, so you don't get to see most of it, but I'm still cutting out a large chunk of it because it takes a long time. Now, when the T-Rexes come in, they're gonna be a lot bigger than I expected them to be. So they can, it looks like they can reach onto the bridge with their mouths and just snack people up. This is not safe. The FDA, the FDA of all people, are gonna come on my case because it is not safe at all. But maybe I want to give my guests the full dinosaur zoo experience. Have they ever thought of that? Is it really a dinosaur zoo if you're not getting eaten? Yeah, it kind of also reminds me of Skull Island. It's definitely something I would want to build in the future. Like, say if we get mods that add the V-Rex and whatever those raptor things are called, Venatorsaurus or something weird. Okay, if we got mods like that, if we can add a Gigantopithecus, or at that point they're probably just modding King Kong as well, I would love to come back and make a Skull Island park. I mean, I've seen the original and Peter Jackson. I think Peter Jackson is, I don't know if this is blasphemy, but I think I like Peter Jackson the best. Okay, say you put it on 1.5 speed, okay, then I like it the best. Because that movie is way too long. It's like 3 hours, and I just want to rip my eyes out by the time it's done. But aside from that, it's still a great movie. Okay, so you can see it's starting to come together. I do have to lower the stairs eventually because I didn't realize the scale of it. It's kind of hard when you're working with dinosaurs. You don't really know how big they're gonna be in comparison to the habitat. But yeah, the T-Rexes, they can't fit in this. They're way too big. So I do bring the stairs down, which is a shame because I definitely like that design, but it's an exhibit for the Tyrannosauruses. Yeah, so now we're actually just building the temple walls and getting that outline done. And once I'm building the temple itself, it's really easy. You know who else is really easy? My mom. Oh, sorry you had to experience that. But yeah, it's not the temple itself that was difficult. It's all the stuff around the temple that was just kind of very difficult. Well, not difficult, just time consuming. But you can see here, it's just, you can get it done quickly. And yeah, here's where I take some inspiration from Mayan pyramids. I put the slopes on the roofs and I don't know what they call it, but the pyramid tops, okay, I put that on the temple. And I like how it looks, Yeah, so I could have waited till beta to do this. I do have plans and ideas for what to do when the beta comes. But I had this idea, and it didn't seem like the most mind-blowing idea, so I definitely wanted to get it done before someone else came along and took my idea. Alright? So I just had to get ahead of the curve. That happens once, and then you're emotionally scarred for the rest of your life. Never again. When I have an idea, I just want to get it out there. Now, I'm not saying that I can copyright this idea and just sue other YouTubers who try to do this, but I did it first, so there you go. Or at least I think I did. I don't watch every single Prehistoric Kingdom YouTuber and all of their builds, but I haven't seen any big names do it, so I'm fine. Yeah, so here we're just building the walls. Yep. You know, I'm not gonna joke about that at this point. We're in the middle of a crisis, even if they don't want to call it a crisis. So you know what? Let's just avoid that. Those really low-hanging fruit jokes. As much as I love to make them, this is going on the internet, so I can't be as offensive as I usually am. Even though, if you've been watching me regularly, I do get really offensive sometimes. Like, I love how during my Bioshock playthrough, in the very first episode, I start making a Chris Brown joke as I wrench a female splicer to death. Oh my goodness. The internet, what a wonderful place. See, I'm definitely built for like the 2008 internet, or it was like just much raunchier and, you know, more offensive, less filtered, instead of say the 2021 internet where you say one messed up thing and then you're canceled for the rest of your life, and then you can't get a job and everyone hates you and you get death threats. Yeah, it's a lot. So I'll try to avoid that. Alright, so I had an idea. We're building like a Central American-ish temple, and who is a god of Central Americans? Pretty sure the Aztecs. Quetzalcoatl. I think he's the sun god of that culture. I think. So, Quetzalcoatlus lived with Tyrannosaurus. Okay. So, I decided to make this a temple to Quetzalcoatlus. And you can see there's like a little image of the oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to keep saying this a lot. Quetzalcoatlus. Okay. I like it. I think it looks really good. It's simple, you know, but it looks like one. So maybe like we can have a story that this was a temple to the Quetzalcoatlus, but then the Tyrannosaurus came and took it over. Which, you know, it sounds like a fun story. I'll live with that. I was considering building like a statue to Quetzalcoatlus on the top, but that would have taken too much time, and I already built, you know, these little decorations. I didn't want to make another one, okay? This is good enough. It's a really cool pterosaur. The biggest pterosaur, the biggest thing to ever fly, you know, organically fly. And I really hope it makes it into the game, because, you know, it's an awesome creature. You know, I know that the devs were definitely planning on bringing pterosaurs in during a Kickstarter in the early days, but sometimes the reality sets in and you realize that your scope was much bigger than your ability to make it. I'm not sure if they still intend to bring in pterosaurs and aquatic animals, but, you know, it would be really nice if they get to that. But if they can't, you know, we're still left with a very good game of terrestrial creatures. Terrestrial and extinct creatures. But pray to Quetzalcoatl that we get the Quetzalcoatlus. Yeah, so I'm just putting on like the final touches now. I cut out a lot of the plant pudding because it takes quite a while, and you know, you don't need to sit there and watch it. You know, you have better things to do with your life than watch me place plants on a fake temple dedicated to a pterosaur, okay? Or at least I assume you do, you know. Maybe you don't, and you're just a basement dweller. Alright, so the time lapse is almost over. You see there's some more plants and all. I do add extra stuff after the time lapse, just to bring it to life and make it feel like part of a zoo. So, you know, I really enjoyed doing this. It took me about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, and it was fun. It was more fun than the Chrysler Building, because that was kind of like a lot of copy and pasting. This was, you know, a really good time, and I really enjoy how it looks. I think I did a good job, and, you know, I hope you guys like it too. Yeah, so it's now just finishing touches with the rocks and the sand and all that. I love how little of the game is actually habitat building. It's just like modular building. Okay, guys. See you later. Okay, and we are back with a finished Tyrant Temple. And you can see I have these Brumal Tyrannosaurus here. This is a good time to use them. Man. Like the color on the blue. It just works so well with this tropical environment. It's like, and the feathers kind of like have a native feeling to them. You know. And it looks really, really good here. Oh man, this is such a pretty dinosaur. Dang. Oh, dang. They look so good. Come on, are you gonna do the roar?
Do the roar.
Nah, okay. So, you can notice a few changes. I did add like these pillars with these, I don't know what you call them, but they make fires, okay? You add fires there and stuff. I added benches. Yeah, I definitely wanted to break up just kind of like the dark grays and blacks of the bridge with these pillars. And I think it works out really well. Look at the people just kind of, you know, looking bored as always. Look at you. Who is this guy? What's with that haircut? Yo, what's with him and his yee haircut? Okay, you know, whatever. So I think it came together in the end. Oh, and yes, I rotated a pillar down here. What you have to do is you have to like grab it, go into edit, like the whole group, and then you have to just like click on everything and then rotate everything instead of just rotating the modular build. Okay, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I hope I am. Alright. So, I haven't seen a T-Rex go in here, but that's supposed to be their home. They could fit. I think. They might just... If they crouch just a little, they can make it. Isn't that right? Alright, you do you. You do you, fam. You do you. Oh, taking a sleep. So yeah, there's nothing past here. It's just one exhibit. I couldn't be bothered with, I don't know, looping it around or making it its own park. And I also created this. Just, you know, a nice sign reminiscent of, you know, that temple feel. Tyrant Temple. You know, not the best thing I've ever seen. But, you know, it gets the job done. I like it. So, yes, I think this is a job well done. And I am happy with the result. It's that overgrown temple-ish feeling that you would get from, say, like Tomb Raider or Uncharted or Indiana Jones, maybe. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay? And it has T-Rexes, so it is a lot like Tomb Raider. Hello there. What's your name? Connor. Hi, Connor. Okay, you do you. Okay, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Prehistoric Kingdom. Hopefully the beta comes soon, and then I'll do a lot more then. But as for now, I think this is, you know, all I'm going to be doing with the alpha. We had a lot of good times together during the alpha. We built our own park, did the Chrysler building, and now this. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And even though it's still in an early stage, it's a great game, and I really like it. Okay? I'll see you guys in the next video.